Tonight, more problems with the troubled Muskrat Falls project.
An ice storm has knocked the Labrador Island Link out of commission, while Hydro says ratepayers could be on the hook to make sure it doesn't happen again. I'm Peter Cowan, and I'll have that story coming up.
Based on what he said, after 3 years as Minister of Justice, I mean, he's not fit for the job, in my opinion.
Outrage tonight over comments and an apology from the Justice Minister.
Feel like we can look at it for longer. It's not hurting our eyes. You still need to wear your glasses.
This has been insane. This has been the craziest single product that we've had since COVID tests back in the day.
Well, ahead of Monday's solar eclipse, a singular accessory is flying off local store shelves.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. The Labrador Island Link is out of service after an ice storm in southern Labrador. As Here and Now's Peter Cowan explains, it's going to take time to repair and could cost ratepayers.
On March 30th, an ice storm hit southern Labrador, leaving 3 inches of ice on power lines. The problem? These lines are only designed to handle 2 inches of ice.
The main structure of the tower, zero impact. But the electrode line at the very top is where we experienced some damage. And repairs are underway, and they're expected to be completed in the coming week or so.
This means the Labrador Island Link is out of service, but Hydro insists it'll have no impact on customers because there are enough other sources of power. Not all the towers are designed the same. Other areas could handle more than 4 inches of ice, but designers weren't expecting it to happen here. Now they have to look and see what areas may need to be strengthened.
We're going to evaluate where else that might be occurring, but that may not have had an issue yet. So we will take our lessons learned on areas of specific issue and apply them across the line where we think it's necessary.
This isn't the first time there have been problems with this section of line. Ice also caused galloping on the lines, breaking these big turnbuckles, which need a $30 million fix. Jennifer Williams says they expect to experience some issues with a new line. The question is, how much do they need to beef up other areas, which would come with a big cost?
It's a cost and reliability balance question, and we are very careful about how much money we want to invest. We don't want to overinvest because rates are, worrying for folks, and so we very much have that in mind.
Any upgrades to prevent this from happening elsewhere will come at a cost for ratepayers. Hydro says it doesn't know how much the repairs are going to cost, but it hopes to have the line back in service in about a week. Peter Cowan, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, now to news from the courts. Marcus Hicks has pleaded not guilty to most of his 150 sexual violence charges. The former substitute teacher and volleyball coach is accused of using a fake online identity to lure people into sexual acts. Some of the charges include luring a child, disguise with intent, sexual assault, and possession of child pornography. The investigation of the 32-year-old man began last August. Since then, police say they've uncovered tens of thousands of images and videos dating back 15 years. Hicks has not yet entered a plea on his most recent 63 charges. Meantime, the RNC says it has reached out to the Provincial Volleyball Association in case there are members who want to come forward with information. A man with a long criminal history has been found guilty of drug and human trafficking offenses in St. John's. Dominic Delisle has been sentenced to 7 years in prison following a 30-month RCMP and RNC joint investigation called Project Badminton. Delisle has pleaded guilty to a number of charges, including several firearms offenses. He's now banned from operating firearms for life. He's been in custody since his arrest in 2022 and has more than 4 years left to serve. Well, the body of a second man has been recovered from a crash site along Route 470 on the island's southwest coast. The RCMP underwater recovery team located the missing man this morning. He was one of 2 passengers in a vehicle that went off the road Wednesday evening between Burnt Islands and Rose Blanche. The vehicle went into a pond. Both bodies have now been recovered. Well, a recently retired Crown attorney is outraged by remarks Justice Minister John Hogan made about sexual assault victims. Speaking in the House of Assembly last month, Hogan said it's impossible for victims to be re-traumatized during court trials. As we reported last night, he's since apologized for that statement. But Michael Murray, who spent 25 years as a Crown attorney, says Hogan displayed complete ignorance of the criminal justice system. He says Hogan crossed the line as minister and isn't fit for the job.
I've seen some pretty brutal treatment of victims over the years. Not all defense counsel, but enough that it makes a difference. I mean, I don't understand. The general public has an idea that sexual assault victims don't always have an easy time going through the court process. I mean, how can the Minister of Justice have no idea what's going on? I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot over the years. I've seen a case where the victim collapsed on the stand due to the trauma cross-examination and just couldn't continue, and the case was thrown out.
Well, in a statement sent to CBC News today, Hogan reiterated that apology. He says he's committed to learning so he can better understand the perspective of sexual assault survivors. He also says he's implementing processes to avoid re-traumatizing them. Well, ahead of Monday's solar eclipse, a St. John's business says a certain solar accessory has been flying off store shelves. The Bee's Knees, along with its sister store, the Travel Bug, has been selling more than 500 pairs of glasses each day leading up to the eclipse. Staff at the downtown stores say they haven't been this busy since they started selling COVID tests during the pandemic. As of this afternoon, they'd sold more than 5,000 pairs of solar eclipse glasses and counting. Manager Hannah Finling says the shared eclipse experience can bring everyone together.
Interest is huge, you know? People are super excited about what's going on. I mean, like everybody's been talking about, it's a once in a lifetime event, you know? So fingers crossed that it's not cloudy on Monday. Things like this that are, you know, based in the natural world, but not necessarily tied to a lot of the issues that we talk about today and that can be kind of hot button. Things that aren't necessarily tied to that, but are based in the environment. I think that really draws a lot of interest from people.
Yeah, for sure. And most of us will be able to see a good chunk of the solar eclipse through Monday, but there's a small, narrow window of who is going to see totality. So as far as timelines go, I'm just going to show you this really cool graphic. So by the time we get to about 5:10 in the afternoon, areas on the southwestern portion of the province are going to start to see the moon move all the way in front of the sun, and that will be what we call totality. So things are going to get dark for a few minutes. Anywhere from 30 seconds to about 3 minutes is areas in these orange lines will see that darkness. So by the time we get into about 5:13, areas through central and the south coast like St. Albans, Buckins, Badger, you will all be seeing the totality. And then we get through to about 5:14, so it moves through fairly quickly. But by 5:14, areas like Gander, Clarenville, Bonavista, and even Bay de Verde will be seeing totality. So anywhere outside that, we're still going to see parts of the solar eclipse. That's why you need your glasses, but we won't see that total darkness. So that will go through by the time we get into about 5:16, 5:17. We'll have seen that. It'll start that other side transition. But the question is, are we going to see it? The models, totally different than what we saw yesterday, and this is what I've been anticipating, a flip-flop of the forecast. This is completely opposite to what I was saying yesterday, showing, you know, some more cloudy skies, looks like in the forecast for Gander and East. We may see it still. I'm going to keep an eye on the forecast, though, for you. I'll talk about the forecast when I come back.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. Thank you so much, Ashley. And staying with this story, staring into the sun, even during an eclipse, can cause permanent eye damage. And that's why people are encouraged to wear special solar filtering glasses on Monday.
The lights from the sun will cause damage to the photoreceptors of your retina. And the retina is where light is focused and what transmits the image to your brain. So if that does get damaged, it can leave you with a blind spot or some wavy vision loss, and that could be a permanent thing. Lots of times it does get better within a few months, but sometimes it's permanent, so you don't want to risk that.
So what does it mean to develop blind spots? How does that affect your vision exactly? And how do you know you're protecting your eyes properly? We'll have more with Dr. Sarah Hutchins in about 20 minutes on Here and Now. And of course, many will try to savor the moment on Monday by taking a photo or video of the eclipse. But as you're about to see, eye protection is key even when looking through a lens.
At the beginning of the eclipse, when the sun is almost at full strength, it just focuses that energy, that light of the sun, onto your sensor, and it just can't handle that amount of light and heat.
This thing is like totally just melting.
If you search online, you'll find lots of stories about people who said, I thought I would do it just for a moment, and ruined their camera. And certainly you don't want to be looking through a camera or binoculars or anything at the sun that's not in full eclipse. That can have serious damage. So you have here, for example, the safety glasses, and you want to make sure that they've come from a reputable source. If you want to try photographing it, you'll need the proper filters. They're typically called ND 100,000 filters. There's an adaptable one there. There's some camera filters there. They dim the light of the sun by a factor of 100,000. So it needs to be quite dimmed in order to photograph it.
What would you say to folks who are thinking of just snapping a quick picture with their iPhone or something like that?
You can get these sorts of filters, just a film that would go over it, and if you have one that is made specifically for that purpose, go ahead. iPhone's very expensive, and unprotected, high probability you'll damage your sensor, so better to download an image and have your camera than to ruin it. The focus is difficult on the sun, so you might need to play with that. You're not going to get a very large image, obviously, and the more you zoom in, if you get to the digital zoom part of your iPhone, you're going to get a little more pixelated, granular image. But I would say give it a shot as long as you got the protective film, because then it can be something that you can say, I shot this. But don't get your expectations too high. The things you see on TV and on the internet were done with very expensive equipment, very high-powered equipment, and so you're going to get better images from those, obviously.
What tips would you give to someone who is using a DSLR sort of professional camera equipment?
You put the filter before any of your optics of your equipment. So if it's binoculars, if it's a camera, a telescope, it would go on the very end before any of that light enters your camera. So it's dimmed before it gets to any of the workings of your mechanism. If you come away and none of your photos worked, well, borrow some from a friend, find some online and save those, but just experience the day too, because it's a rare thing, and depending on your view of things, it's awe-inspiring in many ways.
Well, to the West Coast now, Kruger is temporarily shutting down the Corner Brook pulp and paper mill for repairs. The company says it needs to make important repairs to the steam distribution system. Kruger says it's working with government departments and that employee safety is its top priority. Today's move comes after a one-week shutdown in November, which Kruger blamed on the business environment in the newsprint sector. About 300 workers were affected by that 7-day halt in production. Kruger says it will resume operations as quickly as possible. Well, it was a banner day for Team Canada at the Men's Curling Championship in Switzerland. Brad Gujou started the morning strong, defeating Japan 9-3, and that win put them in second place. Then just a few hours ago, in his second match of the day, Gujou dominated the home team, Switzerland, 8-1. All of this comes after Gujou's 6-5 loss to the unbeaten Swedish team yesterday, and that loss ended Gujou's 5-game winning streak. Today is the final day of round-robin play. Well, one of the province's biggest and most popular hockey tournaments continues tonight in Deer Lake. The Herder Memorial Championship is the grand prize for senior hockey in the province. Games draw thousands of fans. This year, the showdown is between the St. John's Roof Tech Caps and the Deer Lake Red Wings. St. John's is leading the series 2-0. Game 3 tonight is in Deer Lake at the Herder Memorial Centre. And while the dust settles on the Newfoundland Growlers situation, the province's other pro team continues its road trip in Ontario. The Newfoundland Rogues were in Windsor last night to take on the Express. The BSL rivals didn't disappoint, with Rogues dropping a close game to Windsor 108-102. The loss sees Newfoundland slide into 4th place in the standings as the team continues its final road trip of the regular season. The tour of Ontario continues with the Rogues heading to Sudbury for a game tomorrow night. Well, a party for 2 nights is turning into a party for 3. One of the biggest artists to come to the island in recent years is taking the stage for a 3rd night. In an Instagram post today, Shania Twain announced tickets to her first 2 summer shows in St. John's sold out in record time, so she added another show. The Queen of Country is playing the Churchill Park Music Festival August 16th and 17th, and now the 18th as well. Tickets for that show go on sale tomorrow at noon, Island time.
Hello everyone, my name is Rivu Rashid. As you might recognize my voice as the host of Labrador Morning, and I was the former national record holder in Bangladesh of Rubik's Cube. So there are a couple of cubes, but this is the standard 3x3 one. So yeah, I'm actually heading out to Moncton to take part, Moncton and PEI, to take part in 2 different competitions during the weekend. But here my colleagues have put me on the spot. So a bit of a challenge. Let's see if I can solve this. I should. Let's see, 3, 2, 1, go. It was actually pretty fast. It was pretty fast.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to say after watching that. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit unsettled this weekend for sure across the province. We've got an area of low pressure just to the south. We'll talk about what that means when I come back.
This weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. The bonus prize deadline is midnight, Friday, April 12th. Order tickets now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
There we go. All right, it's time for a look at the all-important weather. Everyone wanting to know how it's going to look on Monday. But for now, let's talk about today. It was another gray day here in the east.
Yeah, it certainly was. A little drier than it has been for the last couple of days, so it wasn't too bad. But since we've moved into the afternoon hours now and early evening, we've got an area of low pressure just to the south of us, and that is bringing some unsettled conditions, mainly along southern areas of the island and particularly the Avalon at the moment. Now, we've got a big ridge of high pressure to the north. That's keeping things relatively quiet up across Labrador, but we still have that onshore flow. So still bringing some cloud cover and definitely some cooler conditions right along with it. And really, this is generally going to continue as we head through tonight. Our temperatures today topping out much warmer yesterday, 5 degrees in Stephenville today, double digits yesterday. But we do have temperatures around 0 in St. John, same thing for Bonavista. Really all along the northeast coast, temperatures hovering around the 0 degree mark or a little bit below. And about 3 degrees today in Burgeo. Now, if we take a look at the watches and warnings that we have in place, we still have that wreck house wind warning for really for the next couple of hours. The top winds this afternoon were about 110, wreck house area 109, 110, and that's really the peak. And we're seeing those winds gusting around 94 right now and anticipating that those winds will ease as the next couple of hours roll through. And we'll see that wind warning ending. Otherwise, winds not overly impressive, anywhere from about 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. St. Anthony, though, you are seeing your gusts around 59 kilometers per hour at the moment. And it's just because of that area of low pressure. So here's a look at the current satellite and radar. We can see that shower and flurry activity working its way further north. Things are having a hard time accumulating, but the airport is reporting some freezing drizzle in St. John's. And really, we're seeing some showers to the southern portion of the island at the moment as well. If I stop the picture, you can just see how widespread they are. Not overly heavy by any means, but still seeing that moisture right now. As we head through tonight, that is pretty much going to continue. We may start to see some of the heavier flurry activity or light snow again towards the coast. This will probably fall as rain, and I think really just grassy surfaces, like things like your deck or sidewalks maybe even may see some accumulation, but I do think it's going to have a hard time accumulating right through the overnight and even into tomorrow morning. So overall, temperatures will be hovering around 0 or a little bit below. You may pick up a couple centimeters, maybe 2 to 5 centimeters at the most. Higher elevations may see a bit more than that. But overall, we're looking at flurries, just a slight chance of flurries up across Labrador. Temperatures below 0, anywhere from about -2 to -11 in Nain overnight tonight. As we head into tomorrow, that area of low pressure is still going to stick around for the first half of the day, and then we'll eventually see that end. Again, onshore flow along the northeast coast, flurries, potential for some freezing drizzle or drizzle in the mix through the day up across Labrador, generally quiet except towards the coast where you're seeing those onshore flurry activity. But we should see some clearing as the day goes on. And the best chance of seeing some sunshine will be for the northern peninsula later in the day on Saturday. So our temperatures tomorrow, anywhere from 1 to about 3 degrees. Again, northeasterlies 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Central seeing similar temperatures, 3 or 4 degrees. South coast anywhere from about 1 to 4. And the west coast, northeasterlies, anywhere from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. Daytime highs 3 to 5 degrees. And again, there's the best chance of some peaks of sun, 3 degrees in St. Anthony tomorrow. And the rest of Labrador looking pretty decent weather-wise. Some sunshine, temperatures around +5 for Happy Valley Goose Bay through your Saturday. Sunday, pretty much a similar forecast with temperatures anyway. But we're going to keep watching the forecast for Monday, and I'll get into all those details coming up a little later in the show.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, as the snow continues to melt and signs of spring start cropping up, there's a small window of time for people to take part in a classic Canadian tradition, tapping trees. We return now to our ongoing series, Chase the Seasons with Charlie.
Hello, my name is Charlie White, and today we're going to learn how to tap maple trees. To tap maple trees, you want to do it in the spring of the year when the sap is flowing from the roots of the trees back up into the trunk and the whole tree system, all the branches and stuff. The best time to do it is when the daytime temperatures are above zero and nighttime temperatures are below zero. Normally in Newfoundland, that would happen in and around the end of March and the beginning of April. So the equipment that you'll need to tap a maple tree is you're going to need a container or a bucket to collect the syrup. You're going to need a hose to go from the tap to the bucket. You would need to go online to purchase some taps. Then you need a drill, whether a hand drill or electric drill, the drill bit, and maybe a little hammer to get that tap seated. So next thing you got to do is obviously find a maple tree. One way to tell if a tree is healthy is by looking at the bark of the tree. Make sure it has nice, healthy bark. Also, I'm going to look up in the tree and to see if it has any new little buds forming. If you look at the canopy below, you'll often see the leaves that it shed from last season. That tree should be good to go. Normally then, I will tap it about hip height. And when I drill my hole, I don't have it perfectly perpendicular. I got it at a slight downward angle so that the sap has got a natural flow. I normally go in somewhere between an inch and a quarter to an inch and a half. So once the tap is in the tree and you're going to connect your hose from the tap to the bucket and secure your bucket to the tree. I'm using 5-gallon buckets, so I'm going to come back in 2 days' time. The boiling down process, it's just a lot like boiling water, and you have a large amount of maple water that you have to boil down until it turns into maple syrup. It's recommended that you do that outside because it's going to produce a lot of moisture, a lot of steam. So that is how you tap a maple tree. I hope you try it out for yourself. You can check out more of my outdoor adventures on my YouTube channel, NL Ghost Wolf. Until next time.
Well, if you've been trying to get your hands on a pair of these solar eclipse glasses, you might be out of luck. They've been flying off the shelves here at the Bee's Knees in St. John's. Over 5,000 pairs sold. Coming up, we'll tell you why they're so important if you're going to look at the eclipse. Well, eyes will be on the skies for this Monday's solar eclipse, but if you want to take in this celestial event, you'll want to make sure you don't fry your eyeballs and have a pair of these with you. But the problem is they are just flying off the shelves everywhere. I'm here at the Bee's Knees on Water Street in St. John's with manager Hannah Findling. So Hannah, we just saw a shipment of these come in, these solar eclipse glasses. Much anticipated, I'm sure. Can you talk about how many of these you've been selling?
Yeah, absolutely. This has been insane. This has been the craziest single product that we've had since COVID tests back in the day. Between us and our sister store, The Travel Bug, we have sold over 5,000 pairs since the 3rd of March, which is crazy. Yeah, so it's been absolutely insane, tons of interest. We're averaging about 165 pairs per day, but over the last week, it's been more than 500 pairs we've been selling a day. So,
were you anticipating this level of demand?
Absolutely not. I actually went to school down in Pennsylvania, and so I got to see the total solar eclipse in 2017 because we were in the path there. And it was amazing, and I had such a good time. So when I heard that we were going to be close to the path here in St. John's, I really wanted to make sure that we had the glasses. So I thought about it, and I was like, maybe 100, that should do it. So I ordered, they came in packs of 24 at the time, so I ordered 96 pairs, and those were gone within 2 hours and 38 minutes after I posted them.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the first order. Since then, we've reordered in increasing amounts. This last shipment was actually 1,500 that just got dropped off today.
Incredible. And what have you been hearing from customers when they call or come in about this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely been nonstop. The phones are ringing off the hooks, and we're getting tons of emails, social media messages. The interest is huge, you know? People are super excited about what's going on. I mean, like everybody's been talking about, it's a once in a lifetime event, you know? So fingers crossed that it's not cloudy on Monday, but even if it is, I think this has just been a really awesome community building kind of exercise. Yeah.
Yeah. How so? How is it? How do you find it to be a community building exercise?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that things like this that are, you know, based in the natural world, but not necessarily tied to a lot of the issues that we talk about today and that can be kind of hot button, things that aren't necessarily tied to that, but are based in the environment, I think that really draws a lot of interest from people. I mean, like I said, it is once in a lifetime, so people are excited about it. And people who are coming in, they're telling us about their plans, telling us about how they're going out to Bonavista. Vista. One of our really great retail partners here at the store is East Coast Glow, and I know that they're having an open studio in Bonavista Vista for the first time. They haven't opened up their studio in quite a while, so I know that's happening. Yeah, there's just all kinds of events. The Geo Center's doing a block party, you know. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, a shared experience, something that brings everyone together.
Exactly, yeah.
So why exactly are these glasses so important for watching the solar eclipse on Monday? Well, joining me now is Dr. Sarah Hutchins, an optometrist. So I guess it's a good thing that these are flying off the shelves here today. It means a lot of people are going to be wearing them on Monday. Why do people absolutely need to wear these glasses if they're going to look at the eclipse?
So these glasses are the best way to protect against any damage, specifically solar retinopathy. So the lights from the sun will cause damage to the photoreceptors of your retina, and the retina is where light is focused and what transmits the image to your brain. So if that does get damaged, it can leave you with a blind spot or some wavy vision loss, and that could be a permanent thing. Lots of times it does get better within a few months, but sometimes it's permanent, so you don't want to risk that. So these glasses here are certified, and specifically it's ISO 12312-2 certified, and that's what you need to look for.
What does it mean to have a blind spot?
So essentially when you're looking at something, there could be a spot right in the middle of it, because when you're looking up at the sun, right in the middle of the eye, that's what will be damaged. That's what we use to see detail, for me to see your face, to read a book. So right in the middle of that, there could be a blurry or a black spot. And an example of that would be if you're looking at a clock, you can see the numbers around the outside, but the hands on the clock could be blurry or distorted or even just not there.
So that would be awful. That sounds
It would be
terrible.
awful.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is not worth the risk.
Yeah. And so we all know that you shouldn't look at the sun, but with an eclipse, the sun is being covered by the moon. So what is it about that still makes it so dangerous?
So we would never normally just look directly at the sun. We don't stare at it, it's too bright, and our reflex is to squint our eyes. And the other thing is that when it's bright, our pupils constrict and they get small. But because the moon is covering up the sun, it's getting dimmer and dimmer until that point of totality where it gets quite dim and then it starts to pass off again. It doesn't seem as bright. So we'll feel like we can look at it for longer, it's not hurting our eyes, but our pupils will be bigger, so light can still pass through even easier than on a normal day. And you're not feeling like it's bright, and the UV rays still penetrate. So I tell people that even on a cloudy day, they say UV rays get through. Still wear your sunscreen. So even on a cloudy day or when it seems dim, you still need to wear your glasses.
And you won't feel this happening either, right? You wouldn't feel the pain of this damage being done to your retina.
The retina, no. So the pain, the retina doesn't have any photo or pain receptors, so you won't feel it happening.
Some people will be in this path of totality that we've been hearing about where the moon completely covers the sun. And I have read that for a few seconds in that kind of instance, it is okay to take your glasses off and have a look. What would you say about that?
So if you're in that path of 100% totality, when it's completely covered, and I think totality lasts for about 2 minutes, but you can find that out looking online. I'm not the expert there. You can take off your glasses there, but as soon as it starts to emerge again, they need to go right back on. And then you can see it's almost like a diamond ring almost look. So as soon as that's the last bit before the moon fully covers, and when it starts to expose again, so at those points, that's when they have to go immediately back on.
We haven't had this kind of eclipse in this province since the 1970s.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have seen any of this kind of eclipse-caused damage before, I
have
assume.
not,
Are you
no.
expecting to see people after this come in, potentially?
I hope not, but it's not going to be surprising, I guess, if it happens, because people just think just for a few seconds, and that's all it can take.
Sneak a peek. Don't want to sneak a peek.
No, we don't.
Okay, Dr. Sarah Hutchins, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming down here.
Thanks.
Well, as you just saw, Eclipse glasses are getting tough to find around town. They've been selling out here in St. John's. But what about the Eclipse store in the mall? We swung by the local business to get its take on Monday's big event.
Welcome to the Eclipse Simulator. We are where we get ready for the solar eclipse with our 20% off outerwear. We started in Twillingate, Newfoundland, and now we have 84 stores across Canada, and this year is actually our 50th year in business. This weekend I am excited for, of course, our 20% off outerwear promo and our lead up to the solar eclipse on Monday. On Monday, we can expect something a little like this. Hello? Sun? Yeah, are we still on schedule for Monday? Everybody is jumping on the bandwagon of solar eclipse, but we are the original eclipse, so take that, sun. And don't forget, this weekend, 20% off outerwear.
Pastry lovers will love this. A new bakery is opening up in downtown St. John's. It will be called Birdie Pastry, Coffee and Snacks. The people behind it hope the business takes flight. Here Now's Elizabeth Witten checks out the renovation.
We're at 258 Water Street, St. John's, Newfoundland. It's a future site of Birdie Pastry, Coffee and Snacks.
And I'm wondering where the name for this new business comes from.
A glass on Jenny's table.
Yeah, we were chatting, when we were chatting about working together, I had these old-fashioned glasses that came from my my Nana Pop's house that had birds on them, and we were just throwing out words, and that one kind of stuck after a while.
Yeah.
We just wanted to have something a bit more fun and playful, and yeah.
I had a bakery called Levan Pastry on Harvey Road, and Jenny and I worked together for the last year, over a year. And we got to talking about next steps, maybe what we could do differently or what I could do differently, and we decided to work together.
I think for me, I'm excited to be back in the kitchen. I had taken a break from baking for a while and worked for government for 11 years, 12 years. So yeah, I was really happy to be back baking again, and I think just playing a bigger role in the business was really important to me, and it was something that I've been working towards. But yeah, I'm just really excited to get people in here and start sharing our stuff.
Croissants, brioche, laminated doughs, smaller individual tart type things. We'll get more into breakfast and lunch savory items, and we're also going to put a lot more effort into our coffee and drink menu, which we're excited about.
Hopefully when you walk in the door, you'll be able to see all the products. I mean, you can't see it much here, but yeah, it's really, we kind of want to just have that like wow when you walk in the door and see all the baked goods, pastries, yeah.
It may not look like it now, but we're very far along. We have had no major, hard stops. So lots to do. We've got a good couple of weeks for sure of solid work left, but we're confident we'll be open in April. Yeah.
Well, this week, St. John's is playing host to the Canadian Folk Music Awards, and that means some of the country's top talent is in town. Queen Kong is a Jewish jazz band, and its members visited the St. John's Morning Show today. The band squeezed into the CBC radio studio for a chat and performance with host Chrissy Holmes.
All of the members that have jammed into the studio here with all their instruments. We got so much brass. We got a full drum kit here in the studio. And they're all here to play Jewish klezmer jazz. The band is Queen Kong, and they're here from Toronto. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Way to hustle all the gear in, gang. It's great to have you here. Do a little roundhouse intro of everybody.
Okay, I'm going to go in the opposite way now for suspense. This is Graham Campbell on guitar.
Hey.
I'm Laurie Wolf. I play drums, and I'm going to sing a song next. We have Greg Bruce here, St. John resident and local klezmer clarinetist. Max Forster on the trumpet, Nate Del Vandenberg on the trombone, and Tom Richards on the sousaphone.
Fantastic. Great to have you guys here. I know we had to muscle you in. It speaks to how professional everybody is. We just assemble and you were up late last night too, right?
Yes.
So we are grateful. We are grateful for, what were your first impressions last night from St. John's? Was this your first time here?
Yes.
Oh.
So great.
So great.
Awesome.
I mean, everybody just pitched in to help make this happen. We were delayed by 3 hours in Halifax, and I put the word out, oh my gosh, I need some help out here. We're going to hit the ground running. We're going to come straight to the venue. Greg found us 2 amps And Tom got there early and he set up the drums, and my friend Paul Murphy brought me a drum key. Everyone, our driver waited at the airport for 3 hours until he was late to his own dinner party because he wanted to make sure we got there. It was amazing. We love St. John so far.
President Joe Biden got a first-hand look at the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore today.
In the weeks to come, I want you to know we're going to continue to have your backs every step of the way. I guarantee you. I guarantee you.
Efforts to clear away the mangled mess are still underway. Cranes, ships, and diving crews are working to reopen what is one of the nation's main shipping lanes. As much as $200 million US in cargo moves through that port daily. 6 construction workers were killed when the bridge was struck by a huge cargo ship on March 26th. And staying in the States, a rare earthquake struck parts of the U.S. Northeast this morning, shaking buildings from New Jersey to Maine.
This is one of the largest earthquakes on the East Coast to occur in the last century.
The epicenter was about 70 kilometers west of New York City, near northern New Jersey, but tremors were felt across several states. People in Baltimore, Philadelphia, and the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border reported feeling the ground shake. Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Wishing Ruby and Melvin Riggs from Grand Falls, Windsor a happy 60th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Herbert and Mildred Park of Marguerite. They're marking 63 years of marriage. 54th anniversary greetings going out to John and Betty Newman of Boyd's Cove. Wishing Bill and Elsie Gilbert of North Harbour, Placentia Bay a happy 60th anniversary. Another diamond anniversary. Congratulations to Leslie and Irene Hiscock of Norris Point. Happy 60th anniversary also to Jerry and Stella Fudge of Galtus, now living in Gander. Congratulations to Pat and Arlene Morrissey of Cuslet on their 50th anniversary. Anniversary greetings going out to Ben and Sheila Barrett of Monkstown, who are celebrating their 54th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Gerald and Barbara Curran. They're marking 53 years of marriage. Happy 60th anniversary to Wilson and Madeline Gillard of Twillingate. 55th anniversary greetings going out to Edward and Queena Fever this Sunday. It's a golden anniversary tomorrow for Frank and Georgina Mead of Milltown, Beta Spear. Best wishes going out to Ida and Wes Thompson of Botwood, who celebrate their 63rd anniversary tomorrow. Happy 56th anniversary on Sunday to Wilson and Audrey Stoyles of Goobies. Congratulations to Bill and Shirley Butler, who are celebrating their 56th anniversary today. Happy 54th anniversary to Patsy and Glenn Keynes in Pasadena. Happy 61st anniversary today to Bobby and Louise Kosh of Aspen Cove. Anniversary greetings going out to George and Florence Canning of Comfort Cove, Newstead. It's their 50th. Wishing Bill and Lillian Williams of CBS a happy 60th anniversary. Happy 53rd anniversary to Henry and Margaret Moores of Rashun. Anniversary greetings going out to Reby and Gordon Fifield of Dildo, Trinity Bay, who are celebrating 66 years of marriage. Now to some birthdays. Wishing Andy Kelly in Gander a happy 92nd birthday. Happy birthday to Rita Barber, who's also in Gander. She just turned 94. Happy 90th birthday to Patsy Jackman from Kilbride, now in Maddox Cove. Birthday wishes going out to Belle Kiley of Point LaHaye, who turns 91 on Sunday. Happy birthday to Mary Clark of Charlottetown, Labrador, who just turned 91. Happy 96th birthday to Annie Marie Drover. She's in Grand Falls, Windsor. Happy 91st birthday to Marie Ryan of Marysvale, now in Clark's Beach, pictured here with her great-granddaughter, Stella. Happy 94th birthday to Dorothy Blake of Two Good Arm. Hope you have a wonderful birthday. Happy 99th birthday to Mamie Hounsell, also known as Candy Nan. She lives in Deer Lake. Candy Nan, that's a cute nickname. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again to everyone who is celebrating. So now we're going to look at the weekend weather into Sunday. How's it shaping up?
Well, a little bit unsettled, unfortunately. We're not looking at those clear skies just yet. Let's take a look as we head into Saturday evening and then eventually into Monday. The best chance of seeing, Sunday, the best chance of seeing some sunshine will be up across Labrador at this point, still looking at some cloudy periods. We may see some peaks of sun as well, especially into the afternoon. Particularly for the northern portion of the island, maybe even the west coast. But again, we're still hanging on to that onshore flow. There's a little bit of a disturbance to the east, the southeast, which could bring some showers or flurries again on Sunday and into the overnight. This is the system that I'm watching for cloud cover across the Avalon on Monday. But at this point, we're looking at daytime high around 1 degree in St. John's on Sunday. You head further west, temperatures a tad warmer than that, about 5 or 6 degrees. Labrador actually pretty nice as far as temperatures are concerned, anywhere from 1 to +7. And then as we head into Sunday evening and then Monday, there's that area of low pressure that I was talking about. So if this happens, we will be in total cloud cover for the Avalon, maybe even through parts of Central. Best chance at this point for Monday will be for the west and southwestern portion of the province, and maybe as we head into the afternoon, we may see some clearing. Certainly going to have to keep an eye on that one. And then we've got some snow up across portions of Labrador. Temperatures, though, on Monday will warm up anywhere from 4 to about 8 degrees. Cooler, though, for the east, around 0 degrees for St. John's, anywhere from about 1 to 2 up across Labrador, except a little cooler for the north. Long range forecast, 0 to 1 degrees through the day, unsettled right through next week. with the potential for snow Tuesday, Wednesday. Going to keep an eye on that forecast. And then for central Newfoundland, you're looking at your temperatures anywhere from 2 to 5 degrees for next week. And same thing for western Newfoundland as far as unsettled conditions go, but about +2 through the day. And then for Labrador, you're looking at your temperatures down to 0 by Tuesday. Wednesday recovering quite nicely at about +5 with some cloud cover. And your overnight lows in western Labrador are still going to be quite chilly, -10 to -13, but your daytime highs on Wednesday, +5 with some sunshine. And pretty cool shot here. Foggy shot. Foggy day in James Cove.
Probably cool as well.
Exactly. This is in Colliers. Rob shared this great shot with us. If you have any weather photos, the best place to send them is nophotos@cbc.ca.
All right, let's hope it's not like that out on Monday.
No. It's okay, though. I mean, we'll still see some darkening skies in the path of totality, but it just won't be as brilliant. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. But
yeah, it's going to be so neat.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Oh, so excited. All right, well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us, and have a great weekend.
Good night.
I should have said that.